Welcome to the Sports Desk, where we are going to watch the El Camino Warriors take on the Cerritos Falcons. Fans, get ready and fired up because it starts right now. Winning knowledge of the game. Will Stafford lets you know.
For most Americans, soccer is a relevant sport once every 4 years. For El Camino coach John Britton, soccer is a lifestyle. Britton has coached on American soil for over 30 years now, with the last 17 being at Elko. From coaching in the pros to now the collegiate level, Britton has kept one thing constant in his approach to the game.
I like the players to learn, but I like them to learn under a fun environment.
Jokester. Yeah, definitely. He cracks the jokes all the time. He's really funny.
I played a lot of sports in Europe, in Britain. Did quite well on them. And I never had a coach yell and abuse me like I see American. And I mean, no, it's a criticism. You know, and there are still some coaches around that are mostly for yellas, but I was brought up being told that empty vessels make the most noise. And certainly it's been true in my career that the coaches that said little, it meant a lot.
Coach Britton's lively personality may be his most endearing attribute, but he certainly isn't an empty vessel. As players and colleagues will tell you, Britton's experience and knowledge of the game is his most notable quality.
Gives you all the knowledge he has, teaches you how to play the position, what to do in the different situations of the game, and how to take advantage.
He knows what changes need to be made if something's not working. And when it gets down to business, he's really on task, and he keeps them motivated.
Over the past couple of years, coaching at El Camino has become a family affair. Coach Britton's son Andrew helps with the men's team, and his daughter Jamie is the women's assistant. For John, the experience of coaching with his children is a dream come true. For his kids, the transition from dad to coworker has been somewhat of an exasperating experience.
He's a bit more mellow than I am, which is a good way of putting it. I'm more intense, and he's really adapted the Southern California lifestyle of being mellow. So when it comes to good cop, bad cop, I'm the bad cop, and he plays the good cop, I guess.
I'm a little more serious, so it's been a tough transition. I try to stay on task and get him focused, and then he'll come in with some jokes or pranks and get him a little off track, so it's been a little difficult.
With all the fun has come great success in Britton's tenure at El Camino, but recent seasons have been lagging production in the win column. With those results, he prompted himself to make a change in order to reverse that trend.
Last year we were an average team. The year before, I realized that I wasn't infallible. I wasn't the Pope. Everything I said didn't turn to gold, and I really had to work at it.
With a rejuvenated coach, El Camino started out the season undefeated in its first 7 contests. During that run, the Warriors outscored their opponents 11-3. Their play in league matchups hasn't been as rewarding. In their first 5 league games, Elko didn't record a winning decision, with opponents taking a 12-2 scoring advantage. It's been over a decade and a half that Coach John Britton has roamed the fields here at El Camino College. During that time, he says it's been a learning experience for him just as much as it has been for the kids.
Nice report from Phil Stafford. John Britton's men's team record overall is 7-4-4, and in conference is 1-4-3. There's still some time left in conference to make up for any losses. They play at LA Harper College for their next game, Friday, October 29th. And the women's team record is 2-4-2 in conference, and they play directly before the men's game at LA Harper College. The countdown begins for everyone involved in any kind of fall sport. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit of prep volleyball. The Torrance Charters are struggling while the South Spartans are on top of Pioneer League. Ghazal Hassan was out at the game, and he gives you the highlights.
Girls volleyball action in the Pioneer League as Torrance plays host to South. The Spartans come in riding a 5-game win streak. They're 4-0 in league play and are 15-6 overall, while Torrance struggling 4-12, 1-3 in league play, loses of 8 of their last 9. These two teams met back on October 5th. The Spartans won that one in straight sets, 3-0. Torrance looks to return the favor this afternoon here on campus.
A Think Pink event at Torrance High as both teams don the pink jerseys to support breast cancer research and awareness. Game 1, teams tied at 8. Brittany Kwan here with a nice dig for Torrance as the Tartars get it back over, but Erica Eastley waiting on the other end, 9-8 Spartans. Next sequence, Lindsey Thompson set, Summer Granite delivers. We're tied at 9. Good sequence coming up here, 12-10 South. Torrance trying to stay in it. Here's Summer Granite up high again, but the Spartans get it back. Great save there. Tori Takata gets involved. Madison Brank gets it back over the net for the Tartars. Brank again, set up in the back there by Desi Cavela on the far side. Tessa Fournier pops it down, and Lindsey Thompson can't handle it. Point to South. Still game 1, 22-19. South leads. Katie Exum trying to put it down, but Allison Ibarra and Marissa McGinnis have other ideas. Tartars pull to within 1. That's as close as they'd come. Here's Desi Kaleva. She just kisses it into the front court, and the Spartans take game 1, 25-21. Nathan Jones gets his team together for game 2, but South runs out to a lead. Here's sophomore Erica Eastley putting that one down, making it 13-9. And then here's freshman Natasha Dudko serving. It'll be an ace. And South has run out to a 14-9 lead in game 2. The Tartars managed to tie the score at 18, but down the stretch it's all South. Here's Danny Garcia, the junior. She puts it away. 25-19 Spartans get game 2. Game 3, South runs out to a 17-10 lead, and Torrance comes storming back. Keana Kaya with the winner on that one. Ties it up at 21, setting the stage for co-captain Tori Takata. She will serve for the lead, the first lead of the evening for the Tartars, and it's an ace. Torrance up 22-21. 22 apiece, Torrance trying to take the lead. Here's the set, Katie Exum and Erica Eastley up high for South. Liz Martinez serving for the match. Here's Brittany Kwan, and it's the E Street Band. Eastley and Exum, game, set, and match to the Spartans. This is Ghazal Hassan reporting for the Sports Desk.
Thanks out to Ghazal Hassan for that report. Desi Kaleva had a great game for the Spartans with 14 kills and 8 digs, and Katie Exum came up with big numbers too, 7 kills and 4 blocks. And of course, we can't forget Tartar standout Lindsey Thompson, 14 assists, 11 digs, and 3 aces. And we go from Pioneer League action into Delray League action. Let's talk a little bit of Bishop Montgomery Knights volleyball. They're struggling a little bit in the Delray League, but there's still some time left to get ready for the postseason. Juan Hernandez breaks down these highlights.
All season you've heard us talk about the theme for Bishop Montgomery volleyball, youth. Having only returned 2 starters from last year's squad, we've pretty much seen Bria Green and Shannon Dayton leading the offensive attack along with their setter Hannah Castillo. So when Mary Star of the Sea came to town, Coach Carrie Ray gave us a fresh look at some different starters this time. It was Ashley Murray, who started off the Knights hot in the first game, getting herself 3 kills right off the bat. And as we've said before, Ashley the only freshman on this year's squad, reminiscent of another Knight who was a freshman standout last year, of course Bria Green, who added another double-digit kills night of her own. The Knights blasted through the first set 25-11 against the Stars, while the second set featured a little more of the same. Some contributions there from Ashley Murray again and Shannon Dayton on the block. And of course, directing a balanced offense this year is Hannah Castillo, who contributed 32 assists of her own and this little fake set, plopped it in for a surprise as the Knights go on to win the first 2 sets and have a 2-0 lead. But the third set is when things really got interesting, as the Stars hung with the Knights the entire time, even down 2-0. Some Bishop hitting errors and a few blocking problems at the net meant the Knights and the Stars took this one all the way down to the wire. Tied at 24, this one turned into a slugfest. It was a match that featured 3 match points for the Stars, starting at 24-23. The always reliable Bria Green came through for the Knights in the clutch, but of course the Stars, like we said, weren't going to go away easy. So after exchanging match points for what seemed like an hour, the Knights used every single one of their substitutions allowed. And with a 30-29 lead and a 4th match point set to go, it was Dylan Neiman who stepped up for the Knights. gets the ace and the win in a third and final set that took 60 points to decide this one. During what Coach Kerry Ray has described as an up and down, off and on season so far this season, the Knights not only got their first winning record within Del Rey League play, but got key contributions from players we haven't heard much from thus far this season, proving that maybe what it's going to take for this Knights team to win is a little bit of depth.
Yeah, my coach had to set goals for the game today, and I beat some of my goals, so I was very happy about that.
What exactly were those goals then?
I was supposed to get at least 3 kills per game, and I did that in the first game, so I was proud of myself.
Thank you to Juan Hernandez for those highlights. Bria Green, of course, came up big in this game with 16 kills and 5 digs. And Lady Knight Hannah Castillo had 32 assists. Ashley Murray had a good game as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Del Rey League standings. And of course, we see the top-ranked LaSalle Lancers at the top of the list with 5 wins, no losses. And St. Joseph's and Bishop Montgomery, our Lady Knights, are in a hot race with them, both at 3-2. Bishop Amat, 1-3. Mary Star of the Sea round out the bottom. The Lady Knights have another week of league play to get them into better position for the postseason. Let's go ahead and check out the Pioneer League standings. South stands atop the Pioneer League with 5 wins, no losses, and North is a close second at 4-1, their only loss being to South. Those two teams meet up again this week for the last match of the regular season. Check out the highlights next week on the Sports Desk. El Segundo comes in at 500 in the third place, and Torrance, they only have 1 win and 4 losses. They won't see the postseason, and Centennial rounds out the bottom of the Pioneer League standings. Welcome back. I'm here with Phil Stafford to talk a little bit of prep football. How are you tonight?
Doing well. How about you?
Doing great. The weather here at Murdoch Stadium is fantastic. We will bring you the highlights of the El Camino game later on, but first let's talk a little bit of prep football. Torrance Tartars.
Last night it was a huge game. The Tartars hosting the Eagles of El Segundo, and you would have thought, looking at the paper, that El Segundo would have just blown Torrance out of the water, but it wasn't like that.
It wasn't like that. I think El Segundo has 1 loss and the Tartars have 1 win. Was it upside down?
It wasn't. It was actually very close at half. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at the highlights? On the initial kickoff, Isaiah Hale doesn't get a good boot on it. El Segundo recovers just shy of midfield. Grant Palmer will take advantage, and the Eagles looking downfield for Nigel Newtbar. 39 yards. That gives the Eagles scoring position inside the red zone. 2 plays later, Palmer finds Matt Binder on the flat. That's good for 6, and we're not even 2 minutes into the first quarter. For the Torrance offense, they have to tap into backup Jason Magana for quarterback. Regular starter Ralph Ramirez out 4 to 6 weeks. Sam Washington will carry the load, though, for Torrance. He had 105 on the night from 19 yards out. Washington will convert for 1 of his 2 touchdowns for the night. That caps off a 75-yard drive, and Torrance misses the extra point. 7-6 is our score. Fast forward to the second quarter. It's Washington who will get the call again, and he'll break loose for the 25-yard dash. That gives the Torrance Tartars their only lead of the game, 12-7. Grant Palmer and the Eagles having none of that. They'll march right down the field straight into Torrance territory from 24 yards out. Trevor Tompkins gets the nod. He finds the gap. 14-12, the Eagles up. That drive lasted just 90 seconds. Second half, Palmer, the QB sneak, 1 of his 2 rushing touchdowns on the night. Eagles by 9. To the fourth, the Tartars inside the 10-yard line, going for it on 4th down, and El Segundo comes up huge with the stop. Washington is just a yard shy of the first down. The turnover on downs gives El Segundo the ball, and Grant Palmer would take over from there. El Segundo cruises past Torrance 35-19. Reporting for the Sports Desk, I'm Phil Stafford.